Hello there. So another day, another live stream. For today we are going to do a Chrome Charizard from Pokemon. This will be, I guess this will be fun to do. It's something that I'm wanted to do for a long time right now. For those who come with me from social media, from Instagram and whatnot, I was doing a lot of stuff in Chrome. I really like that aesthetic, and I think that works very well with Stippling. And now I'm going to bring this into Pokemon. That's one of the things I appreciate a lot. So let's get into it. To initialize everything, of course, we are going to deal here with, let me just adjust here the brightness, it's a little bit dark. Okay, so to get things working, we are going to use our Dragonhawk Fold Pro Ear of the Horse. You have in the description the link, my affiliate link, and the coupon code for 10% off. Also, we are going to use a cartridge, a ballpoint pen cartridge, okay? Where we are going just to attach it, fire it up. Here we are going to use on 2.5mm stroke, and in the volts we are going to use around 5 volts. We can go a little bit higher, eventually 5.5, 6 volts, but eventually, well, we are going to stick around the 5 mostly. Okay, so let's start. I also wanted to tell you that I usually almost in every scenario I'll start with the darkest areas and from top to bottom, especially just because it's way easier to first block everything. So if you just start doing the denser areas, the blacker areas, it's easier then to refine other stuff. And why I'm doing like from top to bottom, so I don't smudge everything, because if I was doing like from bottom to top, eventually my hand would stand here and will probably smudge a little bit of the whole design. So that's the way I do things. So let's start. We are going to start here with his right wing, right here. So let's go. Feel free to comment, to say something on the chat. I always appreciate it, so you guys keep me some company, and it's a little bit less lonelier here. So feel free to do it, okay? As I said before, we are starting here with the wing. This is a little tricky design because Charizard is a rather complex figure, and since we are doing this like in a Chrome base, it's way harder to get to it, but we are going to do it calmly, and we have time to do it. So most of all, what really matters is to have some fun, practice a little bit, and yeah, that's the main reason of these exercises. So we are just for now outlining the wing. And start doing some reflections. This is a design with really high reflections, so this shouldn't be a lot to do like small fades, and this should be really contrasty, almost all like black and white. And here, of course, I'm going to leave the whites on. Like I usually don't like that much to leave negative space. I tend also always to fill everything with at least a light base of stippling. However, in this case we are going to really leave those negative spaces to create that really harsh contrast, okay? Since we are dealing here with these like really harsh highlights and shadows and reflections, it's necessary to do so. And how are you guys doing on this lovely Tuesday? Let me just get up a little bit here on the chair. Okay. Was too sunk down. Okay, the outside of the wing, for now it's done. And now here we have here a little, let me check. We have here like a little highlights here. Okay. And also here a little bit of reflection. And around here should be like all black. Let me just up this a little bit more. So for you guys joining in, I was telling that I do have, if you are interested in this technique, I'm using a tattoo machine to do this with a ballpoint pen cartridge. So we are drawing on paper with a tattoo machine. It's quite a fun way to learn and to experience. Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. The key. It's a Fold Pro Year of the Horse tattoo machine with variable stroke. Right now I'm having like a 2.5 millimeter stroke and a cartridge ballpoint pen. It's almost the same as a regular needle cartridge, okay? But instead of having needles coming out of the tip, we have like a tip of a ballpoint pen. So that allows us to draw on paper. In my honest, like I'm a tattoo artist. I have already 5 years tattooing professionally, and in my honest opinion, this will definitely help you tattooing. Okay, like from the whole time I've been doing this kind of exercises, I can assure you that tattooing on paper, it's way less forgiving than real tattooing on skin. Okay. Because here, if you accidentally or what do misplace a dot, that's there. You don't erase it. That's there, right? However, in skin, it's a little bit more forgiving that way. Okay, so this will help you to learn a little bit to have like a lighter hands when dealing with tattooing. Eventually, when you go through to skin, you have to adapt a little bit because, well, skin is deeper and you have to go deeper, of course, right? But at least this will help you to not do like blowouts and horrible traces and horrible line work on skin, at least. And also, that's something that I also enforce my tattoo students to do. Like they only go to skin. Well, this you can, if you check on this video description, there's my affiliate link for this machine and a discount code, 10% discount code. You can go there and you buy it from there, and you also help me out because, well, there's a coupon code and an affiliate link, but there's also other machines if you want to. This machine is cool because it has variable stroke, and for this kind of work it's better to use like a low stroke, like 2.5 millimeter stroke. That's better. But it's also cool because if you want to use this machine for tattooing, since you have like multiple stroke and the machine it's really a power horse, you can still do it to real tattooing. So it's a good investment in my opinion. Thank you for the follow. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask them, of course. I enjoy helping people out. When I was starting, I also had a lot of help from other people, so I also like to share what I know. Now this area should be all black here. Just you have here like a really high highlights. So we are going to start a little bit. Start like creating the small fades to the highlights here. So then we can go to the darkest areas. Also, this machine is pretty cool because using the 2.5mm stroke, which would be like, well, at least interesting on real tattooing, because the dots are really close to each other. In this case, it helps to give you way more control into the stippling. So, keeping a little bit of attention towards, well, what you think about tattooing oneself. I think it's absolutely necessary, honestly. I have my both legs tattooed by myself. So, honestly, I think that's really necessary to do so. And both my legs were, and I say legs because, well, you have your both hands free, right? So it's easier for you to stretch the skin and tattoo. It's a little bit hard on the first, well, at the first time, of course, because, of course, right? because you are not prepared like mentally on what is coming up. But after that, you'll see that it's really fun. There there's always like a few spots a little bit more painful than others. That's common, that's usual. However, that's not a real big deal. But in my opinion, at least, I think that's really necessary. So for you at least to do something on yourself, you know. At least it's like a small tattoo, like something. You should do something at least on yourself, just to try it out. Don't expect the thing that you are doing to be like awesome, it to be super cool, because you are always like fighting the needle, right? Because you have to you have to understand that like your body is don't want the pain, right? So you are inflicting on yourself something that shouldn't be there. So you are constantly working against yourself there. But I think that's really necessary to do so. At least one, two tattoos on yourself. For me, it's way necessary to do so. I have my both, as I said, I have my both legs tattooed by myself, and but like the thighs and upper legs, okay. And I left the rest space to my kids, and so when they are a little bit older, they can tattoo me. Okay. Something I want to do as a father, to teach them to tattoo, not to like, obviously not to force them to be tattoo artists, of course, but to at least teach them something, teach them a skill. If they want to follow that, cool. If not, that's cool either way. And actually, my son already tattooed me. He, when he was like 6 years old, he drawn. It's a fun story. He drawn like a really cute strawberry, and I looked at that and I thought like, well, this could be interesting. And I was always saying, because he said he wanted to be a tattoo artist like his dad and whatnot, right? And I always told him like, okay, I'll teach you when you are a little bit older, right? Like I was thinking about like 10 years old or so. But it happened like that he had that design, and it was like in a specific time, like he was at home, and I thought like, well, why not? Just brought my stuff home, prepared everything, and like holding his little hands in my gloves, holding his hands, I started like tell him how he should do and whatnot. And in the middle, it's a fairly small tattoo, let's say. But at least at the end of the like half of the tattoo, he was feeling a little bit confident, and I just slowly let go my hand from his, and he finished the rest of the tattoo all by himself. And of course, that's the most important tattoo and most, well, with most meaning at least, that I have on me, because I have a lot of stuff with no meaning at all, like just because I like some stuff or whatnot. How long? Well, it took me it took me around, like, it was fairly quick, honestly. It took me, as soon as I decided to leave, because, well, I learned to tattoo. I went on a like 1 week course, like to learn the bases and whatnot, and after that I started working in a different stuff, and I was like tattooing like, well, like 1 time a week or so, but I was feeling that wasn't leading me anywhere, you know. So as soon as I decided to start to risk it and start tattooing professionally, like only tattooing, it took me around 2 months to start getting money, to get like a full paycheck, let's say. But I think like nowadays things are really harsher. Things are way more difficult. I don't know why, honestly. There are a lot of theories, but on why things are so complicated. Some people say it's due to the huge amount of people started tattooing, that there's more people tattooing than actual customers. Well, I don't know, but that could be the point, that could be an answer. Other people just blame it on the way things are in terms of money, you know, like, okay, things are really hard for everyone. Other people just blame it on like this new vibe, like this vibe on like a red pill stuff, you know, like people shouldn't have like those Christian maxing people, like you shouldn't have tattoos and your body should be a temple and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, but I don't know why, but things are way different. I feel it even in my customers. There are not as much people wanting to get tattoos as it used to be, but well, what can we do for it? Not much. And it's way difficult on people who is starting out, because I'm seeing right now, for instance, I'm seeing here in my hometown, I'm seeing people, like really experienced people, you know, like really, and you see their works, they are really good. And I see like people doing like full legs, not thigh and leg, like the lower leg, in a realistic way for like 150 euros. And I'm like, dude, what the hell are you doing, you know? And they are not scratchers, you know, they are really, their works are really good. Just so you to know how bad the things are, you know? And eventually they do this so they don't close the shop, you know. They don't have to close the shop. Is this one, Stippling. I really enjoy it. I really like working on layers. It's fun for me, at least it's fun. I've tried a little bit, almost of everything. However, in my this is honestly my favorite, no doubt. But professionally, I do a lot of fine line and delicate work. You know, that's that. Like, it's not what I enjoy the most, but that's what pays the bills. So you have to do it. But are you a tattooist or a beginner tattooist or just interested in it? What's your current status on this? I can say that I never thought that I would be a tattoo artist, you know? There's nothing that I was thinking well, I really would love to start tattooing people, and well, no, that just casually happened. My background is in cinema, and occasionally, and by chance, I'd say it, I also liked, of course, the tattoo side of things, of course, but I never thought that I would become a tattoo artist, right? And I was doing a documentary on tattooing, and was shooting with a couple of friends of mine who are tattoo artists, and I was shooting a really long session on one of them, and well, we were talking, it was taking a lot, right? It was a really long session, and we are just talking, and he said well, I think I'm going to start doing a little course, beginners, really entry level stuff to tattoo and whatnot, and that kinda stick to me, you know. And I was I didn't say anything at the time, but I went home wondering, well, that could be interesting. We could try it out at least to see how it goes, because tattoo is that kind of stuff that you don't know if if it's going to be cool, or if it's going to work, or if you will have fun or not, just until you experience, right? So I decided to give it a shot, and told him, well, okay, well, I'm interested, let's go. And I went for it, and I really fell in love with this stuff. That's fun. Even even when the times where you don't actually do what you really want to, like what I was saying, like doing fine line work, and like doing doing those fine line names and whatnot. That's not what I really enjoy. But even there, you can take something from it, you know. And that's always my mindset. Like, even on those little things that I don't particularly like or enjoy, we can take something from it. At least you can go with the mindset of having at least like the technique side of things, you know. At least, even if you don't like what you are doing, you at least improve your technique, because there's a lot to say when you are dealing with like fine line work. That's not easy at all. And even though I had like those like small things that didn't excite me as much as, for instance, doing like this piece on someone, you know. Even there, I just tried to focus and to give like my best to improve my skill and my technique. Well, that is kind of a tricky question, because let's see. First of all, when someone asks you to do something in particularly, I don't know, like a specific design, if it's not your design, a specific design. First, you have to, before even you pick up your tattoo machine, you have to be sure that the client is perfectly okay with the design you showed him. Okay, that is the most important thing. Be sure that the client really approved and it's okay with everything. You go through the stencil phase, you show him how it's going to look and whatnot. Okay, perfect. Let's say that everything is fine, everything is perfect. Okay, let's go. Let's start doing the tattoo, okay? When tattooing, thank you, Jivan. When you go through the tattooing, let's say that, I don't know, like you missed something or accidentally you did something wrong, let's say that way, okay? First, if you are starting out, always be honest with your clients. Don't act like, well, I know everything and I'm doing like this for 10 years plus, and you are just started like last weekend or so, you know. So be honest with them, and eventually if something doesn't work out that great, at least they already knew that you are starting out. So it was their it was on them, so they decided to accept it. So okay, for that's fine. Eventually, if it could happen as well, if you are like a seasoned artist. Fortunately, it never happened to me, like I don't know, like doing a huge mess up. It never happened to me, like having a really unsatisfied client, fortunately. But well, I guess if I had someone like when I finished the tattoo and went like, well, I hate it, or I don't want this, or something like that, I just tried to figure out what was the problem there, what can we do to solve it, of course. But in the end, if nothing was going to work, eventually I'll just I don't know, I'll just set the tattoo for free, honestly, because it takes a lot of time for a person to gain positive reviews, right? But and I think anyone can resonate with this, but it's only needed like one bad review for every work, for the whole work you've done to go down the drain, you know? So avoid those bad reviews like the plague, you know? Because that could sink your business down way faster than you would think. But as I said, like fortunately, well, that never happened to me. But if that did, probably my first thing that I would do was like to try to understand what was the thing that the person didn't like, try to fix it, and if there wasn't any way or form to fix that, well, offer the tattoo for free. That's not very nice or very cool for you, right? Because you got work, you got work on there, you spent hours and equipment, material, and then you don't get anything for it. But You know, I think for me at least it's more important to do that than lose other potential clients because they will see that someone made a horrible critique about your work, you know. And as with everyone, when people are looking for businesses and reviews, people always go for the lower reviews, right? Here, just to go a little bit darker. Thank you for the follow, Selena. But the key. Have you experienced something at least, or you never touched the tattoo machine before? Well, I can say that when I started learning, I never touched before a tattoo machine, and the other person, the girl that was doing also the course with me, he already knew, well, more or less how to tattoo. He was there just like creating some more ground basis on everything, but honestly that's not a requirement, you know. You don't have to already know how to tattoo to start. Now starting on the neck. The face is not already fully done, okay? We are just doing the markings first, and then we'll go again into it if we feel it's necessary to bring some more contrast or any other stuff. This will have a lot of negative space here. Okay. Try to darken up this edge a little bit more. Okay. Now the underside of the head. Always cross hatch. Cross hatching will help you to disguise the orientation of the dots. So always cross hatch, it will help you a lot. Will make everything darker and also going to create a more uniform look on your piece. Now I had here the heater turned on because this is really cold right here in Portugal. But now I'm feeling like my cheeks a lot hotter. They are really like probably really red, no? Yeah, a little bit. Now for the belly. This is a really difficult character to pull it off. Also, I wasn't really a good friend of mine myself because I went with a huge amount of reflections, but I also thought that it would be way interesting if I do it that way instead of something more plain, let's say. Really soft, really light base here. A little bit more darker on the inside. Okay. What are you guys thinking of this? It's looking cool? Or not really? Now here we have a lot of reflections, so we are just going to randomly pick a few. Okay. And here we have a really dark area. We're going to have to punch here the tone really hard. This is the back of the tail. This should be really black, okay? Just doing a couple of here of mid-tone dots around here the edges, so it's not just a black blob, you know. What you guys are thinking of this for now? Okay. So, I don't know if I start, well, I'll go for the hand here, the gloss. Darken up here these areas. Also here. And also here. Now being a little bit more careful. Okay. Darken up a little bit more here. Doing some effects, some reflections here. Also, we'll need some more darker, and here more light. Okay. Let's continue. Now we can go for this swing. Now here we have some small highlights here and there. We are going just, for now, we are going to mark them, because the rest will be all black. Okay. cross hatching, so everything stays dark and neat. Also, these highlights, they are not really high highlights, so we are going to shade them a little bit to tone them down a little bit more. Okay. All right. Okay. Now going for the outside of the wing. How are you guys doing? Here we are going to leave a really small space between the outline and this area that should be really black. Just a really tiny space between everything. Okay. Just to create more contrast. Cross hatching to make it darker. Cross hatching different directions. Okay. Okay. Just darken out a little bit more. Okay. Okay, so the wing is done. My hands are starting to ache a little bit. It's around like 1 hour and a half. Okay. Well, excuse me because I'm going just to take a moment or so, but in the next couple of minutes I'm going to take a small break, just like a 5 minutes break to smoke cigarettes. But in the while, what do you guys are thinking about this in terms of how it's turning out? Are you guys enjoying or not at all? This will be a really long live stream. We are like halfway. But at least it's an interesting one. I'm enjoying it. What about you? Are you enjoying as well how it's turning up? The nails, even the nails have reflections. It's a tricky thing to do this one, but I think when it's over, it will be really cool. But it's giving me a lot of work, no doubt. A huge amount of work. We don't have that much open areas to work with. They are all really tiny stuff. And I could help myself a little bit more transferring the stencil, because in some areas I really have to think how to shade and where to put the shading. That's why it could take me a while to figure out where to do next. Are you guys liking the design? Are you enjoying it? Now here we have the back side of the inner side of the wing, right? And this should be also all blacked out. Okay. Now, so this, I don't know if you guys are still aware of the huge mess this design is. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you, just for you to know, to see. You see? This is the design. It has so much information in it. I tried to simplify it the best I could. But it still feels like it's not enough. Just freestyling some shadows here and there, some reflections, because it's almost impossible to follow all this to the book, you know. Now the back, that should be also way darker. So, I'm just going to do a really quick 5-minute break, okay? Okay. Let me just smoke a cigarette. I'll be back like in 4-5 minutes tops. Okay? Already back. Let's continue. Sorry for the break. Just took a little bit of time to quick smoke. Here really light. Okay. Let's go now for the left leg. Little highlight. So right here it's raining a lot. I don't know if where you are it's also raining, but right now here it's cold and raining a lot, really. Highlight here and there. Let me just brighten up a little bit more. This should be like the muscles. Okay. Have to constantly change the aperture on the camera because it's really cloudy and sometimes it comes a little glimpse of the sun and brightens everything, and other times it's just really dark, so I keep having to mess here with the camera aperture. here a high reflection. Also we have here another reflection, and the rest will be like solid black. Just giving here the last reflections before I'll start stippling everything. Okay. Okay. This like has so many reflections, oh my god. Okay. Oops. Really lightly. Okay. Now for the flame. So now going towards the tail. Okay. Okay. Tail is done. Just misses this leg here, leg and foot. I think this one is like my biggest live stream I've ever did, honestly. But I'm happy how things are turning out. You'll have here as well some reflections, not as many as this one, but nonetheless there's a couple of them. So guys, we are almost finishing the design. If you are curious on this technique that I'm doing right now, you can check my YouTube channel, because there I have like a free stippling course. This is what I'm doing right now. It's called stippling. So I have there a free stippling course where you can watch how to start doing this kind of stuff in a more structured way. Also, if you want, you can check my other lives for more information. If you want something, if you are into something like this and want to get like a machine like this one, check out Dragonhawk. I have the link also in the description, and there you can have my coupon code AnxiousPokes10 for obviously 10% discount. It's up to you. Just finishing up, placing here and there one last detail. Yeah. I guess that's it for today. But you guys, think about the design for today? Did you guys like it? I really enjoyed doing this one. It was a little bit too much, honestly, but it was a fun one. So this was today's live. Tomorrow I'll have one more live stream. I'm doing this like in a almost daily basis, except the Sunday. That's the only day I don't do a live stream. So if you guys want to keep up with me, just stay tuned, subscribe my YouTube channel so you guys can receive the notifications of my live stream. And well, see you tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of today's video.